And now it's time to look at the newspapers and what the newspapers are saying all around the country. Let's start off with 30 more soldiers and 65 militants have been killed in clashes. Fighter jets have been bombing militant targets in villages around Mir Ali.
The saga continues there. However, Ms. Benazir Bhutto has been concerned about her security, and she is known to be acquiring foreign security services, as President Hamid Karzai of Afghanistan has, since threats to her life have assumed worrisome proportions with her return to Pakistan just 9 days away.
And according to the news, the presidency has promptly responded to Benazir Bhutto's concerns for foolproof security and has allowed the import of 2 bulletproof vehicles to ensure the safety of an enlightened, moderate leader presently on the hit list of tribal militants.
Tribal militants only?
Tribal militants, well, so far that's what we have on the list.
I'm sure. Well, but how will the vehicles arrive in 9 days?
That's a very good question. Special plane? I don't know.
Well, when the U.S. president travels, I mean, there's a special 747 which transports his vehicles. So maybe that's what's happening.
Maybe on the 18th of October they're all coming together. Cars, Benazir, they're also bringing it in together.
Possible, but we know the Washington has been calling, so there may be some support coming from that direction. Meanwhile, a month and 7 days after his confinement, his state guest visit in the kingdom, he has been allowed to depart from London October 17th. Of course, that's Mr. Mir Nawaz Sharif.
That's right. That's interesting though. He's landing in London October 17th. Benazir Bhutto leaves London on the 18th. I love the timing.
So if you have any travel plans for Heathrow or Gatwick, we suggest you do not make those travel
I'm telling you, I have to say this. I have to say this on air. Who demand, he demand. Who demand, he demand. I just love this.
Yeah.
By the way, if you want to SMS into us, please do so. Our SMS number is 6622. That's 6622. And of course, the format to send in your SMSs is DBD. That's Daily Breakfast Dawn. Your message, your name, and your location. Of course, your emails, breakfast@dawnnews.tv are always welcome. Again, 6622 is our SMS number. Please send us in your SMSs so we can include them in the show as early as possible.
Well, opposition has withdrawn the no-trust motion against the Chief Minister in the NWFP because the Chief Minister, they've asked NWFP Chief Minister Akram Khan Durrani, he's been advised the government to dissolve the Provincial Assembly in view of the current situation in the country.
Yes, but just before this advice was given, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Bakht Jahan, resigned from his office. So, you know, again, we have things happening.
Well, we will be looking at the MMA's dissolution, the supposed dissolution, more in detail. But of course, congratulations are in order for twins being born.
That's very sweet. That's right.
I know. Of course, to the old spiritual leader of the Hurz, Mr. Pierre Pegaro, who is the proud father of twins born just yesterday.
On Monday, that's right. In fact, his eldest son, by the way, this is very interesting, Raja Sain, also gave birth to a girl on the same day.
He did not give birth, he's had.
Well, I mean, well, I mean, for me, I mean, the husband and wife, they both gave birth together, they're both pregnant together. So, anyway, he's given birth to, so now he's a grandfather and a father on the same day, twice over. In fact, he's now the father of 8 children.
And he is 78 years old himself. Congratulations
Quite the
to the
man.
family.
Congratulations.
Well, Karachi was planning to decorate the city like a bride in the reception for Ms. Benazir Bhutto on October 18th, but Pindi is not holding back, are they?
No. In fact, they've asked all their workers to gather at Liaquat Bagh, where they're all going to collect over there and then get on a chartered train that's going to bring everyone to Karachi on October 17th. Having said that, you know, decorating Karachi as a bride is all very well. We spoke about, you know, the KSC concerns, but again, we spoke the other day about how all the walls are being covered in graffiti, and the city is just taking on this really dingy, dirty look as a result. You know.
Actually, dingy and dirty is very relative. I think it's graffiti for a national leader who's coming back after so many
years. Do we need to mess the city walls up? I mean, I don't know. How do you guys feel?
They're a very responsible party. I'm sure they will go and clean up
after
and restore the city on October 19th.
I love your optimism.
Yeah, I'm sure things have changed, actually. This is the year 2007. You can't just come and deface a city like that. I'm sure they're responsible.
I'm sure they've learned responsibility.
I have a feeling that the whole cleaning campaign sponsored by the Pakistan People's Party will start on the eve of October 18th.
That would be lovely to see. And how do you feel about it? Please do SMS into us. Now, for anyone who had doubts that Benazir Bhutto is going to be returning on October 18th, let me assure you that she has reiterated that yes, she is going to be coming down regardless of the NRO.
Also, those of you skeptics out there who may be thinking that there has been a fouled reception some months ago in Karachi and one particular person was not allowed to come in, this time that's not happening, because a new phone call from the UK to the MQM chief Altaf Hussain, who is now a British national, has been told not to hinder the arrival of Ms. Benazir Bhutto, and Mr. Altaf Hussain has agreed and has advised his leaders in Karachi with respect to that.
So hang on,
a smooth sail.
Mr. Altaf Hussain is a British national?
Of course, that's why do you think Imran Khan went to UK, as we were talking about yesterday?
I thought he just had political asylum there,
no,
as a Pakistani.
No.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
He's a Briton.
All right, well, unfortunately some more bad news regarding the education and what's happening with girls' schools and colleges in the Khyber Agency. Grenades were thrown into a girls' college in the Khyber Agency. No casualties were reported, fortunately, though the building was partially damaged.
Well, the business sector is showing continued faith in the present political system, and the Karachi Stock Exchange soared to new heights while closing at 14,367 points. It was a record day for Karachi Stock Exchange.
The same in Lahore. The Lahore Stock Exchange showed new heights as well, where they shot up 82.5 points. So obviously, they're quite happy with the current situation, and they've got the confidence of the investors, which is a good sign.
Well, CDR, which really affects the businesses
I love
of this
bit.
country.
I love this nugget, yes.
Some unidentified persons, that you can never identify them, of course,
Never.
have removed hard disks from the computers of several senior officials of the CBR, and it is said that these hard drives did contain important data.
Of course, it had to. But I mean, this is better than burning down a building, isn't it? I mean, just steal the computer, why bother with burning down a building?
Burn down buildings, but of course, a lot of media coverage has been about the emergency services in Pakistan. They're not up to scratch. So the purpose is not to really harm someone.
Right.
So they figured a more peaceful way of doing it.
Very nice of them. Very considerate. I think it was very considerate of them.
It's interesting how you can steal a hard drive. I mean, you can steal a computer, but stealing a hard drive typically means
you have to unscrew. I mean, you have to have the time to sit down there, you know, be able to have access, to be able to sit down there without anyone watching you while you unscrew the computer, take out what you need, and then put it all back, so, you know.
And obviously no one's using these computers because typically it would take time and you would notice the machine's not working. But that's okay. Things happen, you know, stuff happens.
Now, if you remember, there was a huge thing a couple of weeks back about the recall of Chinese toys, and it's interesting to note that the sale of Chinese toys in Pakistan has not been affected at all, which is
I think
surprising.
You're incorrect. I'm sure the sale is soaring because when the whole world stopped smoking, smoking went up here, because when they said no advertising, all the cigarette
it all comes over here.
Pumped smoking.
70% of toys available in Pakistan are imported from China, and sales are still going on strong as ever.
Long live the toy revolution.
Right.